How are you?
Hey.
What's happening?
Try your mic.
Test. You got that thing slide back. I was wondering why it was.
Oh yeah, that's the secret. Okay, I think we have everything going here.
Alrighty.
I think.
You think?
Welcome to the ADHDan podcast.
It goes where it goes.
That was the quickest response I've ever had, and rightfully so, because this is my one and only patron.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. So this is Luke Means. Give me like a 5 minute, and it's gonna be packing it in. But give me like
5
a
minutes, yeah.
recap of your life, how you got to where you are now, and we'll elaborate a little bit too.
Right.
But
Yeah. 5 minutes. Wow. I would say probably sophomore year. Well, first off, freshman year, I'm taking all honors classes, right? I'm pretty smart. Not gonna sugarcoat that one. And then my sophomore year, I was in math class, in the advanced math class, and basically I didn't do very good on a test, and I still finished with like a 94% for that quarter. And I was like, why am I trying so hard? So I was probably like 15, 16 at that time. And I was like, all right, so
I like that mindset.
Yeah, and it was like for what reason, you know what I mean? So, and then I was basically just looking into entrepreneurial stuff, and that's when I think our sophomore year was it sophomore year? Yeah, I started Loop Means Tonight. We'll get into that. Obviously that'll be a pretty big part of this, but basically, to fast forward this, so I was just doing a bunch of entrepreneurial things. And then doing Luke Means Tonight there, and then really
that was your YouTube channel.
That was, and I really stopped it. Well, I guess it didn't even get into YouTube until right before I graduated, actually. And then from there, I was doing that for a little bit. Stopped doing that. I'll move this. This doesn't light on fire.
I mean, that might be fun though.
That might be. So then I was doing a little bit of that. I tapped into a couple different things, but really it's just all about the journey. And I think even if I failed a lot. We'll get into that too. A lot of different stuff that I was trying, and I probably could have succeeded if I would actually kept going with it. But for the most part, I feel like if I didn't stop, I wouldn't be where I am today. Doing a couple of different things. So I guess that's basically. That wasn't really anything too crazy, but
no. But
we can jump into little things. So
yeah, and it gives I think enough background as to
right.
How you got to where you are, and I think that's been something that's been reoccurring for me is that, and I don't remember exactly which episode it was. I feel like at this point they're kind of blending together.
Right.
But one of them we kind of got into how success is the journey, not the destination,
right.
And that's really what you're talking about, right there.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people get so set on one thing. For example, if you don't do great on a test, it's like, okay, then what? You know what I mean? You got to go to the next test. You don't really want to go to school the next day. You might not even want to do the homework. But really, like I said, that 10th grade math test, I think I ended up getting like a 22% on the final, just because at that point I was like, what even, what am I trying for? But, because I went to Disney that right before finals with my one friend and came back, and she didn't even give us a day. It was like, come back, do the final, and I was like, all right. And she gave us, I remember the one problem. It was like a open-ended, the whole sheet. It was like two lines of words, and it said, then the rest of it was just like open, just blank, and it was like, show your work. I didn't show my work. I knew the answer, so I just wrote it down, and she marked me like 11 points off, even though I had the right answer. But it is what it is. I'm not going to.
In today's day and age with school, it's so hard, because I remember whenever I was younger,
yeah.
I'm not a ton older than you, but I remember people would always say, well, you're not always going to have a calculator. And now it's like, yeah, you always have
right.
a billion times more information than you ever would need.
100%.
But you just have access. So do you think we'll ever, this is a tangent, but do you think we'll ever get to the point where it's like school just is completely revamped around the technology that we have? I mean, there's still a need for knowing how to do those things, but
I think if technology keeps going the way it's going, you almost got to adapt. You know what I mean? There's got to be, if you don't, then I feel like you're hurting the future. You know what I mean? Like if you have the technology, what am I trying to say here? If you have the capability to do it, then you have to adapt around it. Especially with like, with COVID and everything. A lot of people are on Zoom and stuff. It's like, when I was in high school, that wasn't a thing. You know what I mean? No. Like Zoom. No one. I mean, obviously, it was like Skype and stuff, but Zoom, it was really never heard of. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think you're definitely gonna have to use it.
Okay, so before we get too much deeper,
right,
I got something for you.
Okay.
So one of the things that when I think Luke means,
right,
I think Madden.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I went with this.
Okay.
So here's your your name plaque.
That's really
here.
Cool. That's awesome.
It's like some kind of replica of a helmet.
That's cool. I appreciate
here you go,
that.
my man.
I appreciate that. Got the date on there and everything. Okay, cool.
You have to send me a picture where you put that.
I will. I got a spot for it. I got a nice desk, which the desk is getting crowded up. I just won both of my fantasy leagues last night. Came down to literally the last possible second. I won by 0.18 points. He had two guys. I was completely done, and he had two guys, and I feel like, well, I mean, maybe if you want to jump into it in a little bit, but I definitely think the NFL was rigged last night.
I think it's always rigged, but
always rigged. But yeah, last night was definitely like, you're not going to see two teams go to last second that both need to tie. You know what I mean? And then for that guy to call a timeout, I don't know. I feel like the Raiders were going to pull a little bit more views in the playoffs anyway, just because of the whole how they got there and everything.
Right.
But.
And it's just all entertainment. When you really step back and look at it,
right.
It is. I don't know. I mean, that's...
No, yeah, it definitely is. You're up 15 with 3 minutes left, and then you end up going overtime. I'm not buying it. With two or three fourth down conversions there in the last second. I don't know. But.
So what you said, you brought up college. What
I did.
What what was your major? Or you're still in college, right?
No, so I actually went to Penn Islands for 2 years. So I was actually going for business, right? And we were filming a video for Luke Meets Tonight. It was I think it was the milkshake challenge, right? And the next day we had tickets to the Steelers. It was like a draft party or something. So that was at noon. And I had this placement test at Penn Hines at 10 a.m. for this whatever it was for the semester coming up. And was
that this year, or when?
No, that was
did this happen?
2019 or something like that.
Wow. Okay.
It was right after I graduated high school. So anyway, we stayed up pretty late because my mom and dad weren't home. So it was me, Joey, Hans, and Mason, and we were filming this video, whatever, having a good time. And then I woke up late, had to go up there, and then they had to do a bunch of introductory stuff, which I just wanted to take the test and leave. And I asked the dude, he was like, well, you gotta wait, blah, blah, blah. I was like, whatever. So then an hour goes by, still not taking this test. I'm like, I gotta be back at my house in an hour, and it takes, 20, 25, 30 minutes. So, it's starting to cut it close. And then it was 45 minutes. And the basketball coach, he was actually, he was trying to get me to play. And, after I got hurt my senior year, there was no way I was going to play. But anyway, so I told him, I was like, look, I got to be home in 45 minutes. I got to take this test. So, I just get in there, and by the time I load up with the credentials and everything, I maybe 40 minutes, 35 minutes. So I just started spamming.
Did you tell him your reasoning why you were kind of in a rush, and did he understand?
He did, but the thing was, he wasn't there right at the beginning, or else I would have got through. He kind of showed up late, so it was everyone's like, why is this kid trying to get out of here? They didn't take me seriously. So I just kind of I did guess on everything. I just clicked whatever, and it was a math test because I had to get placed in this math class if I could just pass or whatever. And so I ended up having to take this math class in the summer to stay on track, really. And so basically I think the math class started in May or something, and I didn't graduate until the end of May or early June. And I kept trying to log in, and it never said I was logged into the class. It was never like register me when I was there. I was like, all right, I'll just wait till I graduate, which is like a whole month later.
Right.
And so I graduate, week goes by, and I still can't get anything. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to call up there, finally. Very too late, because they, so eventually I get in there, and I'm like 0 out of 600 points. And so I contact the teacher. I'm like, look.
That's pretty low.
Oh, 100. Yeah. There's like, she said it was either if I did somehow manage to do everything perfectly, I might pass, but there's still a possibility I could fail it. You know what I mean? So she was like, you can do one of two things. You can either just drop the class and take it on your record, or you could just withdraw it. And so I was like, all right. So then I was like, all right, what do I like to do? So it's media production. So I just got into media production, and then that whole thing I didn't even have to worry about. So it was like I withdrew it, didn't go against my what's it called, academic whatever, and so then I just did media production for 2 years, and then it was like, do I want to go for something else? But I don't. After Zoom and everything, it was like I could lay in my bed. I didn't really have to do anything, keep the camera off. They weren't really strict about that, so it was like it kind of just demoralized my entire outlook of it, and I was like, I'm just not going back. There's no way I can, at least for now, because I feel like I gotta be in there. Like, yeah. As much as I hate going in, it's like I gotta be in person.
I'm the same way.
Like I can't.
Yeah.
Like if it's Zoom, there's no way. There's no way at all that I could. I don't think I could.
So with the businessman mindset that you have, what were you? I'm sure there were a ton of things going through your mind through that time. Like, how can I get out of here? How can I break this cycle? What can I do to get away from school? And
when I was in there, I really didn't expect to, go and, drop out. Obviously, it was like, I hate this place, blah, 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 whatever. But really, I think, some of the friendships I made in there, some of the connections I made in there, I feel like in any situation you're in, right, it's got to be like, okay, how can I make the most of this regardless, if you like it or not. So I think the connections I made in there definitely, helped me out. But there was definitely times where I was, trying some new things, not paying attention to whatever was going on. And I mean, granted, the 2 media classes I did have, they were like 3 hours long. So it was like, edit this, and then you got another 2 hours, or if you were done, you got a whole 3 hours to just chill, basically. So it was like, and there was no way I was doing homework. I was always like, wait till the very last second to do the homework type thing. So it was like I had a lot of free time. So it was like, might as well, if I can find something to do it. But I think it was always just kind of just try out a bunch of different things, which I don't know how much money I don't even say I lost it, because it's not necessarily like that it's there, but like I feel like without trying it.
And let me say this too. This is kind of a Gary Vee thing.
Right.
It's like if you would have think about how much money you spent on college and how much you're going to be paying for how long. And if you would just take that money and invest it, if you knew what you wanted to do early enough, invest that money directly into.
Because I was actually, my senior year, I had a pretty bad foot injury in basketball. Really, I shouldn't have ever came back from it, but I was like, I can't. I want to at least try it, finish it out. So I played on a pretty bad injury. But anyway, I was gonna go to West Virginia. That was the plan. Like WVU, 4 years for I think it was like business finance or whatever it was. Went there, visited. Place was cool. It was like 19 a semester, so it was like 38 a year total. I was like, I could have got some scholarships.
Does that include room and board, or is that just?
I don't really even know. It was just like, I know it was like, I was looking at basically $40,000 a year.
Yeah.
Which, you times that by, 4 years, it's $160,000, which, I mean, I get it. You gotta, there's people that go and, they make it, good careers out of it. But I was like, if I don't like this my first year and I got to drop out or come back, you know what I mean? Even go local, that's still $30,000 that's just gone.
Right.
So I was like, I'm going to take a step back. And that's when I actually contacted the basketball coach, and I was like, hey, you guys still, because I applied to Penn Highlands pretty late. And he was like, yeah, we can still, review it. And at WVU, I didn't get the best SAT score. It was like a 990, maybe 1,000.
Dude, I had a 990.
And really, when I was taking the SAT, it was like, first off, it was really early in the morning, and I hate waking up for stuff like that. Here. So I was like, whatever. Early. And because I wasn't going anywhere big. I knew I wasn't going anywhere big. And I looked, and West Virginia didn't have the it was like easy to get it accepted because I got accepted and I was like, I'm gonna go, and then it's like last second I was like, hold on, wait a minute, but I think with the SAT score I would have had to do like some extra class there, which was no big deal. But I think really what changed my mind was like, okay, $40,000, am I gonna spend that? Or maybe I don't even know what I spent in Manhattans, but it wasn't that, obviously wasn't even close to that. So I think for the most part, and who knows what would happen to West Virginia. I don't like to party. Right. I don't really go to parties. But it's a party school. It's like, I feel like I have a pretty good discipline of like saying no to things I don't want to do, but eventually, you might make one mistake.
Wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, and it's like you're not even doing anything bad. You know what I mean? It's like you're with that group, you're going down too.
So you talked about like the SATs and just going to college. How much of what you have done in the past have you done it just because, okay, I've reached this point in my life, this is what everyone says I'm supposed to do?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think the SAT, I think standardized testing in general is just not it. You know what I mean? Because you get a lot of smart people out there that just might, have a bad day before, like say someone in your family dies and you got to take an SAT the next day. And I know, at least when I went, it was like, you could only get it I think it was 3 times during that year. So if you
could only take it.
I think it was something, I don't know exactly what it was, but you're on that 3rd time and there's no other times, and you're mom or dad or someone dies, you know what I mean?
But they make money off of everyone, so why would they limit it?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. No. But they I think that's, at least that's what I was under the impression. Maybe it was wrong.
I think you are right.
Okay. So but yeah, I was like, I don't like standardized testing. I don't like that. Especially if you get somebody that goes to a really big school in comparison to someone who goes to a really small school, I just feel like if they have a easier advantage or bigger advantage or whatever you want to call it, getting into a bigger school, if you wanted to go to a bigger school, like Yale, something Ivy League, because the smaller schools, their curriculum's maybe it's not up to date or something like that, which, I've always been on board with almost like a nationwide curriculum, but at the same time not, because it'd be okay, there's no one learning anything, everyone's just going to post something on a forum, their answers are there, but somehow make it so it's not everyone has the equal advantage, because I feel like big dogs got to eat type mentality, but for the most part, at least give that other person a chance in a way. You always got to love the underdog story, so it's I'm not a big fan of standardized testing.
No, and I think one of the problems with the education system is we're trying to take a model of learning, generalize it for the entire population, when every single person is completely different.
Yep, that's right.
So it's difficult.
It's true, because a lot of people do definitely learn differently, and you remember stuff in different ways, because any class, you're trying to learn something, the teacher might be like, this is the way I remember it. Okay, well, you got 20 other people in this classroom, maybe 3-4 people might remember it that way, you know what I mean? But
right.
If you're not paying attention to what he's saying at that exact time, it's you're not gonna remember it that way. You're gonna do it. I remember one time I wrote the answers on my right here, and I did it at lunch with a pen, and I had the class the next. So I was like, oh, this is we're golden. Didn't study at all, and then I went to the class, and I sat in the back, and it was he wasn't paying attention at all. So
they're like, everyone put snow pants on prior to the test.
Right? Yeah. That'd have been terrible, but because I wore shorts every day, didn't matter what the temperature was. I was there in shorts, because
I still picture you in shorts all the time.
Yeah, so it was there's no, I don't know, it was just I'm going to school anyway, I'm going inside, it's gonna be warm, whatever. Granted, nothing happens on the way there, but whatever. So anyway, I go in there, and I go like this, and it's smeared completely. I'm like, oh man, I'm in trouble now. So I'm trying to read at least a couple of the answers, but I can't. There's no way. So obviously didn't do very well. But I feel like whenever I didn't do well on a test, it was kind of expected for me, because I just had that mentality, one bad test, 2 bad tests, whatever. I'm still gonna pass. You know what I mean? I can. At least the way that school was set up, I was like, whatever. But I think for the most part it was like, okay, whatever, for that test I didn't do great, on to the next one type mentality. And a lot of people beat themselves up if they even in like general, if they don't do great on one thing, a game, whatever it is. It's like
it's just a life.
They're gonna you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you have one bad game, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, you know what I mean? I think I passed that class with maybe like a 90, 92%, something like that. And it was like one bad test, it didn't really even affect it, because granted, tests have a different weight, but there was like labs and stuff that I was able to pass with and everything, so it didn't really matter.
When you were at Penn Highlands, I feel like I should have known this, but I don't think I realized that you were in media.
Yeah, because like I said, it was really the only reason was because of me not being able to get. I don't even know if I'd be sitting here right now if I went to business. If I went for business, you know what I mean?
I have a business degree, and I'm sitting here right now, and I'm just paying those bills.
Right. But I'm saying, like, who knows what would have happened? You know what I mean? Like, Well, I'll tell you one story. I got this on Booba Bay. I'll tell you a story behind this. So. The only reason I'm wearing this is because I switched that major. I go for media production. The one time I happen to be paying attention, it's like a Friday, and the teacher was like talking about, yo, you could be an extra in this film or whatever.
Did you happen to run across Sean McCool?
I don't remember that name.
Because he's one of the media people at Penn Highlands.
No, it was Rick Bukowski or something like that. But anyway, he's like, you can be an extra in this film, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It was like pays like $88, $85, $90, and I was like, all right, yeah, free $90, whatever. It's in Pittsburgh, so you know, whatever. So anyway, I was just typing my information in there, just sent it away. Didn't really expect much back. Then they called me the same day, like 4 hours later. I was at home, and they were like, hey, we're filming this day, this time. I was like, all right, cool, I'll be there. I think we were filming on a Friday, and I think I put this thing on like a Tuesday or whatever. So. My whole plan was, you know, go shoot whatever, you know, not make a big deal of it. I'm going to be an extra. Nothing's really going to come of it, you know, and then just come back, go to the football game, whatever. And so I didn't know my social security number at the top of my head, so I had to call my dad, but like he was doing something in the yard, and so he didn't get back to me. So I'm sitting out there waiting. And eventually I get back in there. There's probably like a 10-minute hiatus of me waiting, because I had to fill it out for like the tax purposes and like payment, but I made $85. I don't know why they need a tag, you know, whatever. Yeah. But anyway, so
there's the government for you.
Yeah. So we're out. So then I get, you know, makeup, whatever, and I get stood right beside this guy. He looked pretty young, and you know, I was just making small talk with him, and I would have made small talk with whoever I would have been partnered with that day. But I think because I didn't know my social security number. We were, you know, this connection was supposed to happen. But anyway,
the universe came together.
I was gonna say, so I was talking to him, and you know, I was like, we're just, you know, say, yo, what's up, type thing, and then I was like, so what do you know, do for work? Like, you off today? Like, you know, whatever. And he looks me right in the eyes. He waits a second, and I was like, you know, kind of confused, and he goes, I just got released from, you know, federal prison. And I was like, whoa, you know, hey, whoa, you know, I was like, I didn't mean to, you know, and me being dumb, I said, oh, what were you in there for, you know? And again, he stopped, and I was
but that's the question that
right. It was like,
you would want to
and
ask,
I was like, you gotta, and I was like, I don't know if he doesn't want to answer, whatever. And but he was cool. He was open about it, and basically he stopped, and he was like, what do you think I was in there for? I don't know. That's why I'm asking. And basically he was, you know, like a bunch of like distribution charges and stuff like that. But anyway, we just got to talking and stuff, and I think like what really changed my outlook of it was there was like Gatorade and like snacks and stuff, and granted they weren't the best snacks, you know what I mean? It was like, you know, whatever. And the way he was eating his food, it was like life changing to him, because I think he was in there for like 5 or 6 years or whatever. And he was like, look, like, we don't get, like, it was whatever was on the menu, that's what you were eating, or you weren't eating that day. Mm-hmm. And he was like, if you made someone mad or something, it was like they're taking your food and you're not eating for the day. So to have this, like, it might not look like a lot to you, or it might not, you know, I was like, you know what, he's right. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it really changes.
Yeah, and I was like, because I don't.
Perspective.
There's like, I live in like a one stoplight town. You know what I mean? Like, it's not anything out there. And for him to open my mind on things, that was like right when I was in college too. So I was like, okay, this guy, yeah, I definitely got to open my mindset to bigger horizons. But I think without meeting him, like I said, it was just like a connection type thing. But then, you know, I stayed connected with him. And then he just dropped these hoodies and stuff because he makes some music and stuff. So I was like, you know what, like I'll support it because, you know, I feel like if I like something, I'm going to support it, you know, regardless of, you know, what it is, right? So I told him, I was like, yeah, I'll buy a hoodie, make it blue or whatever. He was like, all right, I can do that. So yeah, so I think, but like the biggest thing was like when I think it was like green peppers or something. I was like, why is he eating them like that? You know what I mean? But like he said, it was, you know, he doesn't get that in prison. Like it's like whatever you get is what you get. You don't get a choice. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, you're right. You know, so that definitely opened my mind to some things there.
How do you think that change in mindset manifests itself in you now?
I think the biggest thing, what changed my outlook of everything was, I think when my pap died, right? It was like 7 years ago, 2 days ago. Yeah, the 8th. It was 7 years ago. So I was like, because I was in 8th grade. Yeah, 8th grade. And never had anyone, I mean, people died in my, I'm going to say something and then people are going to get offended. But like people died, but like that was like the actual one that like I could like process. You know what I mean? Like if you're like 4 or 5 years old, it's like, you know. Yeah. But anyway, regardless. So he died. And I remember my dad woke me up late because like we kind of knew it was going to happen. And he woke me up like 4 in the morning. He was like, you know, he's dead, blah, blah, blah. He didn't, you know, make it through the night. And I was like, okay. So he's like, we're going to go see him. And I was like, what? Because they didn't, it was like just happened. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to, you know. I was like walking in the house like, okay, I'm good. And I saw him and I just lost it, right? And then like because his birthday's the day after mine. So like every day, every night, I would like cry myself to sleep in 8th grade, right? For like a week. And then like just one night I was like laying there. I was like, you know what? I don't have a time machine, right? I can't change what happened. Regardless, you know what I mean? The sun comes up the next day. So it's like, I just got to not get over it, but like accept the fact that, you know, what happened. It's in the past and you do one of two things. You can either, you know, lay there and, you know, cry about it or, you know, accept the fact that it happened and be grateful for it. And I think even in life, when I did fail at something or when, you know, someone, you know, whatever, it's like, okay, sun's coming up the next day. How do we react to this, right? It's like, you know, if someone backs out of a business deal, you lose $500, $1,000. Yeah, it sucks, but at the end of the day, how do you react? You can learn from it. You know what I mean? And I think if you don't learn from something, that's really when you when you don't learn from it, that's when you really lose out. As long as you learn something, you can take something from the situation, you know, you'll be okay.
And I think really that keeps going back to the college conversation, like how much you spend on that. Like we look at other things in life and say, man, I lost $500,000 on this business deal, but I learned X, Y, and Z. Right. And that's kind of the same with college. It's like you might go to learn or get some kind of certificate. That's right. But it's really, I think, more about the relationships that you form.
Yeah, and it's not a guarantee too. Like you know, say even if you go to Harvard or something, it's like, okay, now what? You know what I mean? If you don't go out and apply that, you're spending X. Well, I mean, if you go to Harvard, you're more than likely going to get some sort of.
You're already pretty I was going to say,
yeah, but for the most part, if you don't apply it, you know what I mean, you're not going to.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, they go to these big colleges and it's like you're paying to party almost. You know what I mean? It's like there's not one person that they don't have on Snapchat or something that go to a big school and it's like they're not partying. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying like don't party or whatever, but if you're in the mindset that like, okay, you know, whatever, just go party on the weekends type thing, it's like I don't know. You're not. I get it. You have a good time, but one mistake. You know what I mean? It's like you're one wrong spot at the wrong time. It's like, what now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think we're seeing that more and more these days. I think not only because of social media, but because, I mean, you just look at Timothy Piazza. I feel shit for not remembering, but the guy from Penn State.
From Penn State,
so
right.
You're seeing so much more of the super negative consequences these days.
Like you said, I think social media definitely blows it up because, you know, people are going to party regardless, even if they don't put it on social media. But I think, you know, situations like that can definitely be, well, I mean, they can be avoided. It's not like I think it, I know it. Yeah. But I think it's just like, you know, you're partying. You don't really understand what's going on. You're not in the right frame of mind. You know, you think he's okay. Maybe then it's like, you're too intoxicated to do anything about it, and then boom, 12, 14, 16 hours later, it's like, oh, he's still not okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I feel like if you're paying to go to this big school, you should granted, the people there, they do make it out, but if you're partying that much, it's like,
Yeah. So just to kind of go in chronological order, I guess.
Right.
At what point through, because I know you were going to college at this point, but
That's right.
At what point during college did you really start exploring brand building and
Yeah, that's a good question. So,
Instagram?
So biggest thing is
Because I have some questions about.
Right. So March, right before, actually it was right. My mom was like one of the first 3 cases in Indiana County for COVID, right? So
I feel like all eyes were on her.
right, they were, and they're on us too. It was like, are they gonna, whatever. And so she gets COVID, whatever. And at first they said it was, well, she did have pneumonia. It was like left lung or whatever. And she has an underlying health condition, PKU, where basically she can't like process proteins, has to take a formula. She doesn't take it, she gets sick, whatever. So she couldn't take this formula because she was sick from this pneumonia. Then she gets COVID from one of the patients she was with at the hospital. Well, that's the only place that she could have gotten it from. That would have made sense. But anyway, so she gets whatever. So then she's sick from this stuff. Can't take her formula. She's getting even more sicker. My dad takes her. They say, oh, it's just pneumonia. Take her home. Whatever. Blah blah blah. Then she keeps throwing up. Can't keep anything down. He's like, I'm gonna take her back. I'm gonna tell him. He told me, he's like, I'm gonna tell them to test her for COVID. I was like, what? You know what I mean? Like, that's not here. You know what
not
I mean?
around here.
Yeah. And so I was like, all right, well, yeah, whatever. And then so it was like, I think a Friday, he calls me or whatever, and he goes, she tested positive for it. And I was like, what? You know what I mean? Like, there's no way. And because Indiana County's not. I mean, granted, it's decently sized, but nothing in comparison to the rest of the world. It's not anything. And
You have one traffic light, you said.
yeah, so I was like, okay, all right. And I was like, is she okay? He's like, yeah, whatever. And she just kept getting like progressively worse. And I was like, shoot, I might not have a mom anymore. It was like, I almost had to accept that fact. Anyway, she pulled through. So while she's there, I'm looking for ways to, just make money online.
And that was 2020, right?
It was 20, yeah, whenever it like first started. It was,
or maybe
2019? I don't know. I think, I don't know, whatever it was. I don't know. But anyway, so I was just like looking for ways. I got into this thing online, and then through that I met this one kid, and basically he was like, he didn't have a lot of followers, and then it was like basically overnight he shot up to like 20,000. I was like, what'd you do? Did you buy them? Are they bots? He's like, they're real people. Told me how it worked. I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, give me in. So then invested, a lot of money into that, and then I joined their team, started selling for them, and then really what happened was they were promoting this account manager type thing, where it's like they'd send X amount of messages a day, book X amount of calls for you a day. The money math made sense to do. It was like $500 per month. I was like, okay, you get me 3 deals, it's already more than profitable, whatever. Even 1 deal a month's almost profitable.
Yeah,
so
it's just like passive income.
Yeah, and I was like, it makes sense. You know what I mean? Well, they start, and in my account, they only sent like 20 messages that week. I was like, it was 50 messages a day. Like, what's going on? And so I was like, all right, whatever. And I just kind of backed away from them. I was like, $500, whatever. It was cool. It was worth it. It was worth it in my eyes, whatever. And like I said,
it's a learning experience.
It was. And I was like, all right. So then I started doing a little bit of, like Grizzly brand type thing with my like clothing line there for a little bit. And while I was doing that, the same kid who got me into this other one messaged me back, and he's like, these people messed with us too for this account manager, blah 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 blah. He's like, we're starting our own. You want to join us? I was like, sure, why not? You know what I mean? And then it was like I joined them, did a couple deals, and then they were like, you wanna take our sales calls for us? I was like, yeah, sure. What the heck? Why not? And then it was like February. January I did like, I don't know how much I did, but February was my big month. I think I did just shy of 20K in sales. And I think if I never had invested into that account manager, then I wouldn't be there. But I think what really set it apart was I just kind of just kept the connections. You know what I mean? Like granted, if she never did get COVID, if she, that was definitely a bad part of her life. But like, if she didn't get that, would I still be here? Would I still be doing that? Right. So I think, everything definitely happens almost for a reason, but like definitely to us and for us. It's like, oh, whatever, like, you got a flat tire, like why me? You know what I mean? Except you got to look at the positivity of it, like, right. Okay, now I don't have to go to work. I don't have to go, if you don't like work, you don't have to have that stress of, what's my boss going to say to me today? What are my coworkers going to, you know what I mean? Type thing.
Or we might not even know, like with the example of a flat tire, I always think, well, would I have been in an accident?
Right. You never know. You never know. And that's sometimes I kind of like to, make up imaginary scenarios in my head, but then it's like, I don't even know. But to get back into it, I think, so it was like, got almost scammed basically from this account manager, and then working with these guys now, and that's basically how I got to where I am. What I do now with them is just, we were in this other agency. They were actually in this agency, and then they got same thing. They used this account manager. Definitely wasn't what they said it was, and they're like, we can do this a lot better. So they just kind of started their own thing, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'll jump on board. I like what you're doing. It's definitely more ethical, and but
was that whenever I made that video for you?
No, that was way before.
Oh, it was way before.
So when we made that video, I was just starting to peak. Like I was just starting to make deals. So I was like, all right, I got to get some more content out there. But now it's like I'm taking a lot of sales calls. I don't really. I mean, I could focus on some content, but it's like I don't really. It's like they don't really talk to me. They more so talk to the other people, like who book the actual calls. So it's like they don't really need to see my profile in a way. But I definitely like. I don't know. I like the video. I like making the videos. I like doing everything. But it's more so like I don't really need to focus on the content at this point right now.
If there's anything from this podcast, I can, depending on file size,
right.
I can send the whole thing, and then you can cut down if you want pieces for content.
Okay. But yeah, no, he it was content, and then it was right before I started. It was like right as I was peaking in a sense. But yeah, that was account manager stuff. That was like way before, and I was like, this definitely has to be too good to be true. But I was like, I'm gonna at least try it out. You know what I mean? Whatever. Yeah. If it goes bad, it goes bad.
Was it? I mean, to me, it kind of sounds like some type of pyramid scheme almost. Yeah,
because the way they had it set up, like the pay structure and everything, like it was like you were getting paid for bringing other people in and stuff, and it, in the grand scheme of things, it was like almost a pyramid scheme. But depending on where you are in the standings, I guess, because there were people that were making money like it's like a salary type thing. But I think really what it comes down to is it was definitely not the most ethical thing out there. It was more so of like, okay, take your money, now what? Because the people who I was with before, it was like they only responded to you if they needed you. They didn't really, care. They really only just flashed their money, their winnings, whatever. And it was more so of now the guys I'm with now, it's like you need them. They give you their personal phone numbers, even all their clients, right? All have their personal phone numbers. They're in the Discord. Anything they need is pretty direct. Obviously, if you're messaging them like 3 o'clock in the morning, probably not going to respond right away. Right. But for the most part, during the day or something, they're going to get back to you. So I think just the overall environment and feel of it's like not even close. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Would this be a good time to ask about Loom? Is it Loom?
Yeah, I don't really. I don't know. I just kind of created the LLC for all side hustle type things, so it's like I can kind of keep it all organized. Because like sometimes when I make X amount of dollars from this side hustle, or I get this from this, it's like, okay, now I just spent it all. I don't even know where it went, type thing. It's like now I can track it all into whatever. And one of my goals is 2022, $50,000 in side hustles, but which is, it comes in just shy of $1,000 a week, which I definitely feel like I can accomplish. This week is the first week officially, or last week. I don't know what. I guess today's Monday. So last week, last week we got hit pretty hard. I had a deal, and I paid for the promotion for the guy, and then that was dumb, and he had backed out at the last second, so I lost money there. But for the most part, it's pretty lucrative once you can get it consistent. I just got to get it to that point. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've lost. I keep saying I lost money, but I've invested a lot of money into different things, and I feel like money's a tool. A lot of people say, "Oh, money's evil," blah 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 blah. But when you realize that you're not going to go anywhere without the money, then it's like,
right.
You know what I mean? So I think I just kind of created it as like to keep all my side hustle stuff consistent in one spot. So it's like, PayPal, Venmo. I don't really use Cash App, but Cash App, Stripe, whatever I'm sending an invoice on. It's like now it's all in just one spot. I can track it all. It's a lot easier if I do make $50,000, even if I make like $30,000. Tax purposes, it's all right there. It's all, you know what I mean? And even I have the LLC, so it's like now I can use the tax benefits and stuff, which, I don't really know exactly what they are because I literally just started 10 days ago, it just filed 10 days ago, but, we'll figure it out as time goes on,
Yeah. Well, and instead of saying, because you said it again about how you lost money with something, maybe I challenge you, instead of saying from here on out, I lost money, say, I learned.
Exactly. No, that's what it is. Because it's like I coach junior high girls basketball, and I really do enjoy it. But which is why I don't think we'll be well okay with time. But anyway, our first scrimmage was so bad, I questioned what I was getting into. Granted, we played a really good team. That was a junior high team, and they could have beat a couple JV teams. That was a really good team. So I was like, all right, and I kind of told him, I was like, I had him write down. I was like, what did we learn from that? Because it was like, I could sit there, yell at him, make him run for, playing bad. But really in the grand scheme of things, that really helped us out, because our first game, we still lost our first game, but it was a lot better. And I feel like if we didn't get smacked in the scrimmage, that might have came into the game whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I think they realized okay, we got to take this seriously. So I think learning from even those, it's my first year, so it's like I'm learning a lot, and I'm trying to tell them, because I've been on end of getting killed and beaten up on teams, so it's like I've been on both sides of it, and definitely one side's better than the other, but for the most part, it's like what you learn from that experience, right? It's like even I feel like the sports are a good use of to learn life lessons and even make connections that way, because there's a lot of people that I played sports with even in high school that I still have in the pipeline. If I need something, if I talk to them, if I see them out in public, I'll say what's up. But I think having the sports and being able to learn from failures are definitely big things, and especially my life. It's like I'm sports, and that's pretty much, if there's a sports game on, I'm watching it. I don't really care. Hockey I'm not really a big fan into, but I'll watch it. Baseball's kind of slow to watch on the TV, but in person it's a little bit better. But the Pirates are so bad. It's like,
I really got into the Pirates probably 6 or 7 years ago. Okay. They were still a losing team.
Right.
They'll always be a losing team under Nutting. But I think I was just like, you know what? This is my local team. I'm going to support these guys. I like these guys.
Yeah.
And it lasted maybe 3 years where I was watching just about every game. And I just thought, the amount of time that I invested into this just to be crushed all the time, I just had to give it up.
That's the thing, with those, I think it was the Cubs or something. They didn't win the World Series for 100 years or whatever, some stupid amount of years. The people that are diehard Cubs fans, they were in tears. I think it was 2018 they won that, and they were in tears. But I definitely know what it's like, because I grew up as Pirates, Steelers, Penguins, whatever, and it was the Pirates suck. It's you have one good year and then what?
But they have so many good players.
Right, that's the thing.
So here's what I think it boils down to, and this is, you can prove me wrong. I think a lot of it boils down to two things. One, they have the best farm teams.
They definitely do, because you see all these guys that are killing it right now.
Yes.
Former Pirates.
Yes.
Granted, something might have changed once they left Pittsburgh, but they started in Altoona.
So that goes to my second part. I think that a lot of what is screwing them in Pittsburgh is something about the morale, and that has to go back to Nutting, because once they go to different teams, it's like, like Tyler Glass now. Mm-hmm. I have his personal number. There's a little bam.
Okay.
But it's just so hard.
I think what it comes down to is, I saw this stat. It was, I don't know how accurate this is or what exactly the stat was, but the entire Pirates payroll was like a third of the Padres, or the third of whoever just went to whoever just went to the World Series. It was like a third of that. Like you're not, and with baseball, there's no salary cap. So like if you want to win, the owner's got to pay money. Yankees historically are paying so much in luxury tax.
Do you think, though, when you get to that point in your career, if you're a professional baseball player, like, I just feel like I wouldn't care how much I was playing for at the beginning. I would want to bust my ass and
win a championship.
Yeah.
Which, like we said earlier, sports are definitely rigged. So it's like, but I believe that it's the refs that are on payroll. It's not the players. Because I'm thinking, I don't know though, because you get a guy like, for example, Ben Roethlisberger. Some of those throws he was making yesterday in that, fourth down, third down, like.
I don't think every play is rigged. No, I think
it's like certain
key.
Right.
Key calls.
But I think it's the refs that are on paper. You get a holding call, like even with some of these like roughing the passer calls nowadays. It's like, come on, you know what I mean? I feel like, but even like Tom Brady or like who else took a pay cut? Tom Brady is like the most noble player that took so many pay cuts over the long term of his career.
Did you just say Tom Brady's noble?
Notable.
Oh, I thought you said noble.
No.
Like, this is Pennsylvania. You can't say.
Notable. Well, hey, Tom Brady's a winner. Sometimes it's controversial winnings, but hey, a win's a win, I guess. But to go back to like the Pirates and everything, but I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I if this is the asking price, I want that amount of money, especially with this Mahomes contract. A lot of quarterbacks are going to be looking for a lot more money nowadays, but it's like you're not on that level. You know what I mean? And Tom Brady's definitely taking a lot of pay cuts to keep teams in place so that they could win championships. And especially in baseball with no salary cap, nothing's not going to want to pay people. So it comes down to these baseball players want a lot of money, or they're seeing, okay, Tati's got $100 million or whatever. I don't even know. That might just be an example, but it's like, I want that much money. And it's like the Pirates are not paying that much money to anybody, regardless of who you are, what you could have hit 400 home runs in 1 year. They don't care. They're saying, okay, we're trading you for 3 19-year-old kids or like 2 future draft picks.
Right.
It's like,
those kids are going to be hella good.
Yeah, it's like you're trading for dudes that are like in 7th grade right now. Like, especially, like that year that they won a playoff game against the Reds, I think. And then they went and lost to the Cardinals or whatever, which was like classic for them, always get eliminated by the Cardinals. But it was like Kutch, like Pedro Alvarez, I want to say, was on that team. That was like peak, like I think like 7th or 8th grade for me.
It's like 2000s.
It wasn't that long ago. I think it was like 20. I had to be like 12. I was in the range of like 12 to 14, somewhere in that range. So probably like 8 or 9, 7 years ago, whatever. And but that was like peak Pirates. Like, okay, after all those, they're gonna find, and then it just fell off. Like it wasn't even like a grad. It was just like a complete drop off, and they just gave everyone away for nothing, pretty much. And I think they had, who was that? That Gold Glove catcher they have. They just straight up traded him this offseason. For what? Like, and then they went and drafted. I think they had one of the top picks, and they drafted another catcher. Like, you're not going to build off these pieces that you got. What? It's like you're definitely not trying to win. But I don't.
No, it seems like I don't. Maybe Nutting just isn't a baseball fan. He's just in it for.
Oh yeah, he has to be.
Business side of it, I guess.
He has to be, and it. I don't know. There's no way, because every other sport in Pittsburgh, like, historically wins. You know,
and there's
what I mean?
Pride in it,
right? It's like, okay, boom, you're from Pittsburgh, and it's like you're wearing the black and gold because everyone in every sports team in Pittsburgh's black and gold. It's like people take that so seriously, and then it's like people will go to, like, they'll die for the Steelers, they'll die for the Penguins, maybe not the Pirates so much. You know what I mean? It's like, and a lot of people hate Nutting. Like, there's so many petitions to get him out of there, and you almost got to wonder, like, he's got to see this stuff. So it's like, why does he? It's right. Like he owns the Pirates, and so he's like, screw you, Pittsburgh, or what's he?
Yeah.
It's
I don't
like,
have any idea.
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense because if you're not gonna pay, you're never gonna win. So it's like he can't be in it for the aspect of winning. He can't be because he has to, unless you're gonna get 18, 19-year-old kids to win a World Series, but that's not gonna happen.
Right.
So I don't.
Because I mean, I feel like, not saying that those kids don't have the talent to win, but there's a certain level of experience and you need to stay calm through that. And
that's the thing. It's like, you sit at home, you watch a guy throw, maybe even with football or whatever, basketball, you might miss a wide open, like, you get like a LeBron James missing a layup or something, like, oh, that guy sucks. Or even the guys on the bench are astronomically better than you know what I mean? Like, it's not even close. Like, these guys on the bench would put 50 on anyone, you know what I mean? So even with these baseball players, they're great. Granted, they're going against all-stars in the MLB, so it's like these guys, you put them up against in the AA, AAA, they're going to hit 40 home runs a year.
Yeah. Or
maybe, if you're a pitcher, strike out X amount of guys, and then you go to the big leagues, and it's like there's definitely
another level.
Yeah, and it's like if you can't surpass that.
Well, and I think that kind of goes back to Glass now too,
right?
Because when I watched him for the Curve, it was like, man, this guy's going to be phenomenal.
Right.
Then his first game for the Pirates, he was putting them in the dirt like every throw, and I'm just, what the hell's going on?
And I think
but now he's like amazing,
right? I think could have been nerves. First game nerves, which you're playing in the MLB. It's like, there's a lot of expectations, you know what I mean? And but I think there's got to be some sort of mentality where it's like, okay, if I'm playing for the Pirates, you're not expecting to win anything. Now you're going to whoever it is, any other team in the MLB besides maybe, like, I don't even know a bad team, but it's like the Pirates and then like the MLB and then the Pirates,
Yeah.
It's like, but like even like historically, if you're playing for the Yankees, Red Sox, like teams that are like consistently winning over the years, it's like I feel like the culture and the like just the environment's a lot different. How everything's taken and stuff. Like they're not afraid to spend money to win games, and it's like the Pirates are just not even close to that. Which is, I don't know.
Here's a crazy question that I just thought about. Because I've seen a ton of petitions, GoFundMe's to get rid of nutting.
Yeah.
But that's like saying, hey, let's start a GoFundMe to get rid of Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook. Like, that's not going to happen. What if someone started a page to raise money to buy the Pirates and then turn them into like, would it be a publicly traded business?
That's what the Packers are. The Packers don't have an owner.
Really?
They don't.
So this is possible for the Pirates.
The Packers, I think it's like...
So this is it. You're listening right now. This is the birth of this idea.
Dan and I are going to buy
the
Pirates. So it's like... The Packers, they're publicly owned by, like, I don't know how many people are on, like, the staff, but, like, not one specific person owns it. And what they actually did this past year was, like, they were selling shares. It was like $300 or something, and people were buying this.
Oh hell, I'd get one.
But it wasn't like an actual share of the team. It was just like a token type thing that you could say, oh, I own a part of the Packers. But it was just like a fundraising type thing.
So then they're not actually making anything off of it.
Well, they paid real money.
Right, they're paying real money. But let's say I bought a token.
No, it was just like for fun type thing.
Okay.
And but yeah, no, it's a publicly owned team. The Packers are not public. It's like a private group, but it's not just one specific person. It's like a whole.
That's
like
awesome.
There's like a committee. Like, hey, we're gonna hire this coach. Hold on, we got to get it's like a board approval type thing. Like, if you want to hire anybody, it's like you got to get the what's it called? I don't even know, the majority. That's it, the majority of approval before you can actually go forward with anything. And it's like, okay, that's kind of cool, you know what I mean? But I think they're the only sports team that's like not privately owned by a person. Granted, there might be like a group or one or two guys, but I think I'm talking like I'll have to look this up real quick. But
look that stat up.
How are the Packers?
Jesse, look that up. Jesse, not Jamie. I should have done a whole ADHDan trivia segment for you, because I feel like you're probably one of the maybe 4 who have watched more than anyone else.
Okay.
Do you recognize the "Look That Up, Jesse" reference?
I do not. I might have missed a couple or one or two.
That was the one with Guy.
Okay. I don't think I might have clicked off that one. It says that the Packers have been a non-profit corporation since 1923, so they don't. Yeah, they gotta like share it basically. Sold for $5 a piece shares in 1923, which in today's money it's like $75.
So so this happened back then, not.
Yeah, back then it was.
Oh, so I didn't even have a chance. Like,
the Packers have 361,000 stockholders. They own over 5 million shares. The last stock share was in 2021, but it wasn't even like anything crazy. It was like $300, and you got like a token. It was like, hey, you have a share of the Packers, but it's like, you know what I mean? Shareholder rights. Yeah, no, it's like. Yeah, no, it was like $5. Like at first, when they first started, it was $5. You have $5. You want to buy part of the Packers, you're in there, and that's where you're getting the return. Those people, they're just passing it down to their kids. They're making good money. But that's a good idea, though. You know, making it. Hey, you know, let's buy the Pirates.
yeah, because in theory, if we could get enough people on board, then I'm sure you would attract the attention of the organization.
Oh, 100%.
And then you could get some kind of contact with Nutting or Nutting's people.
Right.
And just say, hey, this is what we have to offer.
But I'm thinking you got to have a bag ready. It's not.
Oh, yes. To
fundraise that much money, that's going to be that's going to be a cool. And imagine theoretically, you win a championship. That's a movie in the making right there. Mm-hmm. That's got to be.
Yeah.
There's so many different.
I know a guy who could dock that.
That's right. Yeah, you do. Yep.
Let me try this.
Yeah.
How much are the Pittsburgh Pirates currently worth? I don't even know if that's like a. I don't want to call anyone, Siri. No, I don't want to call anyone. How much are the Pittsburgh Pirates worth? How much are the Pittsburgh Pirates worth? According to Forbes MLB team valuations, $889 million? That does not sound.
Hey, that's kind of cheap.
It says market $271 million, stadium $40 million, brand $85 million.
I think PNC Park's like one of the top 5 parks in the country.
Oh, it's beautiful.
No, I'm saying like they actually voted on it, and it like finished like pretty. I think it actually might have won, or like right below. I think it was like San Diego or something. But like PNC Park's a nice place. They just don't got a good team But I feel like here's the thing though. If in theory that does happen, where is the money coming from then to get these all-star players? And it's like, okay, now what? You know what I mean? So you raise X amount of money, but maybe it's like a Packers type thing. The public pays for it. You want Fernando Tatis? Go, here, send $100 to us.
Yeah. I think you'd almost have to have some kind of pledge. So I pledge to spend this much.
Right.
So then you're not taking all this money, and then if you don't get them, then you have to refund it all.
Right.
It's just
right. Yeah.
That goes back to like PBS days where you'd call it telethons.
Right.
We could do a Pirates telethon.
We could. Pirates. That'd be cool. Mm-hmm. That'd be cool. Pirates are selling. That'd be. I don't know.
It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
I started right here on this podcast.
As long as you got the idea and you take action, anything you can accomplish anything. Granted, there might be some hoops you got to jump through, but for the most part,
yeah.
I feel like you can accomplish it. But the Pirates are bad. It's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so let's get back to some brand building.
Okay. Yeah.
Some
questions. That's right.
Because I have a bunch of different things I'd like to ask.
Right.
Maybe I'll just throw out some of the topics and you can just
let's go.
Pick like what you want.
Right.
I'd like to kind of know more about Loom Enterprises.
If my glasses break, they're already broken, so don't be alarmed, by the way.
Oh, no.
Okay.
That would be pretty sweet, though.
Okay.
If they just, like, combusted, like, just...
Well, I'll show you. It's, so, like, this piece just falls off.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. Like, the screws in there, everything. But it's just, like, I don't...
Oh, did the metal come out of the stem on that side?
You can check it out. Maybe you know. I don't know. I've been trying to... It's, like, 2 days now. And, like, the eye doctor isn't open. So it's, like, I don't... You know?
Oh, yeah, this happened to Meredith. So what you can do...
Maybe you do have... I can't see.
You can put a dot of super glue
Okay.
in that little hole, and it just has to be like down in there.
Like perfect almost.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you just put this in there, but it has to be completely down in that metal.
I want you to know, so I can't see it all. So you explaining this to me, I can't.
Maybe I'll do it before you leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can do that.
I got you. And
I'm like, my eyes are so bad. Like, this microphone's blurry to me right now.
we'll add ophthalmologist to my list of...
Is that right? There you go.
Credential. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so I'd like to know about Loom Enterprises. You said that's kind of like an umbrella kind of company.
Yeah.
I'd also like to know kind of from what you know, what you've experienced, just with branding, marketing, what you know about the podcast, how you could put that into like relatable terms. Like what do you think this should be? I kind of have my own ideas for the podcast.
Right.
I almost don't want to have any kind of expectation because I feel like then it might take away from...
But that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of the things that I was trying to get into, I was just setting, like, the biggest thing is like, okay, I want to make, maybe I want to make this amount of money by this amount of day, or I want to have this amount of traction by this amount of, type thing. And it's like, if that doesn't happen, whatever. And then it's like, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. And going back to Luke Meets Tonight, it was like, the biggest thing why we stopped, it was like, college, obviously. A lot of people went away to college, didn't really have anybody to film. And, I wasn't a big fan of, going out in public. I mean, I'm always ready to watch that type of video, but it's like, I didn't really like that. You know what I mean? Granted, there was a lot of people that said, like, that's a good video, but I wasn't really a big fan of that. And I'll just tell you this quick story. When I dropped the first video, I was shooting the dart gun, or it was like Nerf guns with needles on the end if you spit the jelly bean out type thing. And I was watching that video, and we were watching it in my one class because the teachers were always down for it. And then it was like, I was walking down the hall, I was going to the bathroom, and I just looked in, and my video was playing on the thing. But I think in terms of expectations for like a podcast, what you should do, I think it's more so. Obviously, I could sit here, you could have someone tell you what to do, but really when it's your own thing, it's kind of like it's kind of got to like let the creative juices flow type thing. It's like you said, like you have expectations for it, or you want to have it going in a certain direction, but even if it goes off in a different direction, it's like, okay, let's look at it. Let's like see where it's going. Maybe this is the right way. Maybe this is where I want to go, but it's not what I envisioned it to do. But in terms of like what I learned in marketing, it's more so like who the type of connections that you do, you can establish, how you carry yourself. I've talked to guys that like have lots of money, and I've talked to people who don't have a lot of money at all. One of the guys that I actually I think it was like a couple days after we shot that video, he has a penthouse in San Diego. It overlooks the Padres Stadium. It's a really cool view. I talked to him, closed him on a deal, and it's like just because like, just the way you carry yourself over the phone. And I think it goes back to like you got to practice makes perfect type thing. I think the more you rep something, but I'm a big believer in you got to actually like, you're not just going through 50% practice. You got to actually practice like you're playing type thing, or else it's not gonna. You can sit there and practice for 10 hours a week, whatever it is. But if it's like 50%, you're really only getting 5 hours of practice.
Yeah.
Even maybe not even that. But you got to carry yourself the right way. You got to know what you're talking about first off, and even if you don't, at least make it sound like you know what you do. Someone asks you a question, you don't know what's going on, you know the answer, just make it sound like you have an answer type thing. But yeah, that's the biggest thing. I think Loom Enterprises, that's like I said, I was just sitting there, and it was actually going to be LM Enterprises, but when I was talking to the lawyer and we were trying to file it, that name was already taken. So I don't know who has that name, but whatever. And
when I got Take 3 Video Productions LLC, everything else was taken.
That's what I'm saying. It was like
everything.
I was like my dog's name, middle initial, last initial. It's like everything's taken. So I was like, all right, hold on. Let me look here. LU and then ME, my first two of each. And I was like, all right, whatever. If this is taken,
I love it because I think it looks good. It looks fresh.
That's what I'm saying.
Loom, I think of light.
Right. It like
lumens, how you measure.
Right. When I first had the idea, I was like, okay, cool. Like, well, what? So when I was doing, I did the clothing line there for a little bit, Grizzly. I kind of wanted something that was like, you know, a nice symbolic animal. And same thing when I was trying to get a name registered. It was like, okay, I want something that's like kind of tied to me, but in the same way, it's like generalized, right? It's not like this or this. It can all be tied into the same thing. If I'm sending an invoice, you know, it's not going to matter if I'm sending it for this or that. It's like it's a generalized name. So I was like, all right, that's Loom's gonna be it. And like I said, I was like literally everything was taken. My dog's names. It was like what am I gonna name this thing? And like I think he sent me the email of like, because I told him I want this, and he said taken. I want this taken. I want this taken.
Who are you talking to?
My lawyer,
okay.
The lawyer who filed this LLC for me. And so he's like, let me send you the database, and you can go and find something.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we can do that. I sat there for a good 3 hours trying to find something. And then I was like, I just sat back like this. And I was like, I don't know what to name this thing. I'm going to not be able to file this because I don't know what to call it. And then my name just, like I had like a little sheet. So I have like a thing under my desk, and I had my name on it. And I was like, wait a minute. You know, it was just like kind of, and I was like, if this is taken, I'm at a loss for words. I have no idea.
That was your Oprah aha moment.
That was it. And yeah, it worked out.
No, I think it looks great. I like it.
Okay,
yeah.
I appreciate it. And yeah, it was because I forget what it was. It was like $2,800. Like when I was just like kind of doing my own thing type thing. And I was like, hold on, if I start making money like this, I need to have something set up. So it's like, you know, like the IRS isn't going to come get me. I'm going to be in jail for like tax fraud or whatever. IRS. You know what I mean? So it's like, I gotta file something. And then took a little bit of a hit because I just kind of got too cocky with it. And then but for the most part, like I said, the goal this year is just $50K. That's it. I'd say that's it. Like, granted, $50,000 is a lot of money, but really when you break it down, like I said, it's just, you just got to get like,
right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's like a big thing is like the reverse goal setting or whatever you want to call it, is even if you want to, whatever it is, you want to buy a new car. Okay. How do you get there? Right. You got to step-by-step type thing. And I think that's a really good way to set goals and achieve those goals. Maybe you don't achieve it in the week, 2 weeks, 1 week, 1 year type thing. But if you can achieve it, that's all that matters. And, you know, going back to college, there's people that are getting degrees that are 4 years and 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, but that's all part of the journey. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I do go back, I'm not going back for just 2 years. It's probably going to take me a little bit longer because I'm going to have to readjust. But I think it's all part of the journey. You know, you got to set goals, and it's not like I want to make 50,000. All right, let's go do it. It's like, hold on. We got to first off do this. Then we can start, you know, moving forward with that. But I think the biggest thing is setting goals, setting short-term goals to achieve the long-term, or to create the long-term picture, because when you can achieve, you can build up a lot of momentum if you can achieve a lot of short goals over time. And that's really when the momentum gets going. Okay, hey, I've already done this amount in this amount of the year. I'm well on pace to hit it. Maybe you might take a little bit of a setback. Okay, we're still on track. Whereas if you don't have a great time, like say you don't hit any goals, there's no way you're going to hit it. It's like demoralizes you, and then you just jump to a different thing. But I think for the most part, it's like just short-term goal setting. I'm a big believer in that. That's what I tell my girls too. You know, you got to set short-term goals. If we can, I think we were up? We were up like 2 or 3 or 4 at halftime, or the other day, Thursday, I think. I was like, we got to go win the third quarter. We can win the third quarter, then we'll worry about the fourth quarter. There's no reason to worry about the fourth quarter right now. You know what I mean, type thing. So, like I said, I like to use sports as like a life lesson type thing, because, you know, even hurting my foot, it was like it really opened my eyes. Like, hey, like you're done. You know what I mean? It's like, because I was like, I think it was the 6th game in my senior year, and just boom, freak accident. I thought I broke my leg, and I was like I was sitting there, I was like, and then the doctor said at the hospital that I don't like, he was like, oh yeah, you just got a high ankle sprain, or you just got an ankle sprain, you can walk on it. I was like, dude, there's no way I can walk on this thing. I need crutches. He ends up leaving for the night. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. He leaves, and then like I'm just sitting there in the waiting room, and the one nurse is like, why are you still here? I was like, I need crutches, I'm not leaving. You know what I mean? So eventually I get crutches, and I go to this ankle specialist guy. He does his own like x-ray type thing. Found a fracture across my toes here. And the way he does things, he said that he's been focusing on this in a while. He said my sprain was the worst he's ever saw. He's like, you sure this is sprain? I was like, that's what I was told. I don't know. But like the way he was doing the treatment, my foot just wasn't getting any better. So like I said, he took his own, saw the fracture across the top, and then I actually had to get an MRI for it too. And between all this, I was like trying to like put weight on it, but I really couldn't. And I had a bone bruise the whole way through my entire foot, down to like basically the bottom of it. And then they had, I didn't tear any ligaments, but like they weren't in the greatest shape. And so that injury, I was like, I'm done. It's like, all right, now what? You know what I mean? And that was like really all I knew was sports. And I was like, that sucks. I knew it was going to come to an end at some point, but that short, I really didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, now what? And I think a lot of people, it's like, you kind of expect things to end a certain way and they don't, and you got to react now. And I could have definitely reacted in different ways. And I think I reacted in the right way for the most part. But I think it's like, it can be gone in a second. You know what I mean? Like I came into that game and I was feeling good. I was like, okay, let's play and let's go to the next game. And I'm not going to the next game. You know what I mean? And that same thing goes in life, right? Like, you're not guaranteed tomorrow. What am I trying to say here? Might as well make the most of today. You know what I mean? So it's like, you had a bad morning. So what? You know what I mean? There's no reason to have, like I said, you say one bad thing to someone, then they don't make it out of the day, then you feel terrible. So it's like, you just gotta make the most of the experience when you're living in it, And I granted, if you don't got a lot of money, you have a lot of money, you have a nice house, don't have a nice house, just make the most of it. You know what I mean? Like, life's weird.
Yeah,
it is weird.
Yeah, and I was just having this conversation with Liz, I think on Saturday. I said, at what point did we start, and not just Liz and I, everyone, right, equivalating money with time? Like your success, it's like time, we don't realize, and this is a quote I recently heard, that time is our most valuable asset by far.
That's the thing.
But we spend it more freely than any of our other assets.
That's right.
Less mindfully, I guess.
Right. I mean, I get it. You might have bills to pay, you got to go to work, blah, 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 whatever. But your free time is really what, sets people apart. Like, if you have free time and you want to do something, you can't be spending that free time you can't just, go out, whatever. You got to actually put forth some type of effort to do it. But I think really what it comes down to is almost, like, do you actually want to do it? It's like, you can say it, whatever. Like, you can care, but like, if you don't actually want it, it's not going to matter. You know what I mean? And I was watching this one video. It was like a sports like pep talk type thing pregame, and the coach was like, we're going to lose something today. Make sure the only thing we lose is time, because he wanted to win the game. And yeah, you're losing time, but really when you look at it, that's okay to lose time there. But like, when you, in the grand scheme of things, if you're spending a lot of time, energy, and effort on one thing, and then it doesn't pan out, a lot of people are like, oh, I just wasted X amount of time in my life. But that's all part of the journey. Like I said, you gotta, if you're not in that situation, where are you actually gonna be? You know what I mean? You gotta, I don't know. If you don't have that connection in that specific moment, do you get to where you are now? Maybe not. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. I don't know. But I think time's precious, and a lot of people don't see that. It's like, oh, I have tomorrow. No, you don't.
Right.
And next week. No, you don't.
Like, kind of going back to this podcast, I think the thing that separates this, if you want to call it a venture, apart from everything else I've done, I think everything, if you look at everything else I've done, it has either been for like to try to make money,
right,
or try to make it somewhere, or somehow spend money. Like we need to get this gear, or we need to do this or this. But this, I mean, so I already have like the gear for the line of work that I do.
Right.
But I've been spending my most valuable asset on.
Exactly.
And it's been difficult because I love it so much. I'm getting so much out of it, enjoying it so much that I'm almost putting too much into it. I feel like when you hear these super successful people say, like Elon Musk, I just watched him speak recently. He said, there was a period of my life when I slept like 2 or 3 hours a night. And sometimes I'm thinking, man, I can kind of relate to that because I just feel like everything's going into this. So this past weekend, I really didn't do much. Yesterday, I laid around all day. I felt terrible. But I think I did need...
That's the thing.
To kind of take a little bit of a break.
I was gonna say you gotta take some rest at some time.
Because no matter how much you love it, you can still get burnt out.
Right. That's the thing. And you know the cool story about Elon Musk. I think it was like he had an office or whatever, and he was using that as his like house type thing. Like he was sleeping on the floors and stuff, and you know it worked out for him. But basically he I think they told him it was like Tesla, or I think he was working on PayPal. I don't know, but it was like he had to pick one or the other, and he was like, "I'm going both." You know what I mean? It was like he couldn't give up what he saw for it, and I think you know, like I said, he had as long as you have the drive for it. You know what I mean? If you don't enjoy what you're doing, you can always go back to school. You can always you know change your career. There's a lot of different opportunity out there, but really when it comes down to it, if you're not happy with what you're doing, you know you got to change it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
too many people think, well, I mean, this is what I do. I work in this factory, and that's like, me.
And no, it's not at all, because like there's a lot of opportunity out there, even online or even you know in person. Like there's a lot of opportunity out there, and if you can actually go out and change even just one person's life, you know, then maybe that person has something for you, or maybe someone has something for you. And I think as long as you can go out and as long as you're happy, you know, like I said earlier, money's a tool, and you know you need it to survive. But I mean, granted, if you can make it by and you're happy doing what you're doing, you know,
right. And then you have to think, well, what's more important to me, my happiness or my bank account? And it's like a lot of people, and that's kind of equating time with money.
And
again.
that's the thing. Like that's where a lot of people say, oh, money's evil, blah 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 blah. Like I said earlier, but you need to pay your bills. But after that, if you don't want an extra X amount of money to spend, that's cool. Right. As long as you're getting by, you're doing things the right way.
Well, and I think we have a lot more control over our bills than we realize too, because a lot of people are like, well, I can't. So with do business, like, I'll probably cut this part because if anyone would happen to see it, but so many people are saying, like, I can't afford that.
Right.
But then they're talking, oh, I went to Starbucks every day this week, or I did this every day. It's like, you can afford it.
That's the thing. A lot of people love Starbucks.
And that's a lot of our generation, I think.
That's the thing, because Dunkin', Starbucks, you know, I see a lot of people out there that are like, if you're trying to save money, you're not going to save money by not going to Starbucks every day. You're going to spend that $4, whatever. You're gonna more so save that money in like maybe like a cable subscription or something. Like, and granted, nowadays with these streaming services out there, granted, if you like cable, use cable if you can, you know, whatever. But there's a lot of streaming services out there that are like half the price, 25% of the price, maybe not even that much. You can watch these NFL games and NBA games, all that stuff on a free website now.
If it were up to me, I wouldn't have any streaming service. Now, granted, I do watch some of them because we have it. Yeah. But I would watch YouTube.
Especially if free platforms are out there, and I think that's really where there's a lot of services. Or that's where there's a lot of places to be money, or through these services, or saved, because a lot of people are like, oh, so-and-so has Hulu, I need Hulu, or like so-and-so has Netflix, I need Netflix. And what I would do is when like a certain thing drops on a certain platform, it's like, you know, that specific platform, I just do the 30-day free trial, cancel the subscription.
Do you remember to cancel?
Yeah.
Do you put a reminder in your phone?
So what I do is I actually pay for it and then cancel it right away, because it stays active for that 30 days. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then I don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And then if I do renew it, I just use another email, and they don't even recognize the same card. It's just that email. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, okay, fair enough. Cancel, free 30 days.
Ethically questionable, but I like that.
Well, I mean, hey, if it's, they say read the terms of services. Maybe it's in there, maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah, terms and services.
Yeah. But I think, I think if that's a way to beat the system. I'm all about beating the system, and if you can do it that way, beat it.
All right, so that's going to be a commercial break right there.
Commercial break. There we go.
Okay, so let's talk about Patreon a little bit.
Patreon, let's go.
So some of my ideas.
Okay.
I thought about if people somehow wanted to, at certain levels, like send in some kind of commercial, or even just record themselves, or something more than just like the words, like, because there almost every episode there's been a spot where I'll just throw a break in just because it's like, they're changing batteries or something.
Right.
So like just to throw plugs in there. So that's one of the ideas that I had.
Yeah, it'd be a cool idea. I think, I don't know. I think that would be cool. I like that. I think you'd have to almost not tell people what to say, but like have them maybe give them a template. Some people might not know what to say.
Or really, if they're willing to support the podcast, I don't care what they say.
Yeah, I could
just say, hey, you have 60 seconds, something.
Right, but I'm saying for someone that like doesn't know what to say, you can give like a hey, this is, or like a template type thing. But yeah, I like that idea for the most part. And
I still need to. This goes along the lines of I just feel like I'm spending so much time with like setup and editing and getting ready to shoot and shooting that it's a podcast, but I still don't have the episodes on a podcast service.
Okay.
So that's going to be another step. I just need to rip all the audio from all of them.
Right.
And I stepped back a day or two ago and I thought, what if it might limit some audience, but what if I offered the podcast audio only version as like even the first level for a patron?
I like that. That'd be. I think, like you said, it might limit a little bit, but maybe someone wants to. They're driving or something, and they like to listen to podcasts or something, and boom, what is it, like $1 or something?
Yeah, the lowest tier is $1. So
yeah, I think. Yeah, that definitely. I don't see why. I don't see why anyone would be opposed to that for $1. They spend more money on like Apple Music and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
and now, did you see Sheets has a drink subscription for $14.99 a month?
I did see that.
I did see many drinks. Only one every 2 hours, though.
That's right. Only one every 2 hours. And I was talking to a dude, and he actually has a drink subscription, right? And so he was trying to get a drink. It was like a coffee or whatever, and he was trying to get a coffee, but they were working on the coffee machine. The guy working on the coffee machine says, "Oh, just go get one at the MTO type station thing." And he was like, "No, I just need one for the drink subscription. They're gonna charge me for this." He was like, "Nah, you'll be good." So he gets this, and they're telling him, "Hey, you need to pay for that or whatever it is." And he's like, "No, this guy told me." And so it's this big fiasco, and really could have been avoided. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, as long as the coffee machine wasn't good or whatever. But this guy was like, "No, just go get one from the thing." And then the manager was like, "No, you can't do that," type thing. And he was like, "Oh, my bad." So I don't really know what happened, what came of it, but I feel like with a situation like that, that's just one of the cons to it. But
there should be, I think, like an unwritten law about that.
That's what I'm saying.
If the machine's down, then
you got it.
Yeah. I mean, you're paying for this.
But
then again, you might have the person that just sits in the parking lot and waits and knows what time they take the machine down to clean it.
That's right. Something. And they might get a special coffee or something like that. But I feel like that person is trying too hard at that point. Yeah. If you're gonna have something like that, like, congratulations to them type thing,
Yeah.
But
if you're willing to devote that much of your time,
right? Maybe like an ex-employee that like hates the company would be.
I mean, I'm close.
You're close?
I don't hate it.
Right.
I have some beefs with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Enough to sit there and wait for the coffee machine to be down?
Not that.
Not that level?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right. But yeah, I think for the most part it's a cool idea. And like, you know, another cool idea is like, I think Netflix like offers games now. I think it was Netflix. One of the streaming services I have, I believe, yeah, it's Netflix. They offer games. I believe it's Netflix.
How do you play the games?
I don't know.
Does it stream through like
It's,
a game console?
I really don't exactly know the specifics of it, but like every time I'm on there and I try to find something, maybe it's not Netflix. Maybe I'm talking about a different service, but hold on, I gotta find it.
You're probably not old enough to remember. Oh, okay.
Like
so more like, do you have Apple TV? Kind of like some Apple TV games,
something like
kind
that.
of simple.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, just ways to keep the revenue going, you know, because I think a lot of companies are starting to lose money now with everything else coming out. Everything's on there for free now. Why pay the $8 a month if you can get it for free, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, and that, I think something like that is more engaging. So statistically, I mean, I'd want to see the statistics,
right,
but
right.
Does keeping someone more engaged, is that gonna keep them around on your service longer?
I think the games are more so for like a younger audience. Like, instead of saying, so for example, if you know you're parents and you have a kid or whatever, and instead of maybe using like the free YouTube, hey, we already have Netflix, let's just let them play the games on Netflix type thing. We need to keep Netflix for this reason and this reason only, to keep our kid entertained or whatever. That might be an idea. I never even looked at the Netflix. I never even clicked on it. I just saw it and I was like, oh, that's a cool idea type thing. But I think for the most part, I like that idea. I like the Sheets drink idea. I don't know any other business that does what Sheets is doing. It's like offers like hey, you pay this amount of money for this year, you get unlimited drinks. You know what I mean, type thing, because that loses them money over time. You would think.
Well, okay, so my guess is, from when I worked for Sheets,
right,
they said they're not really making any money off of gas. I mean,
I think
years ago they used to.
I think that's everyone that owns like a car wash, gas stations. Like, you're not making money off that.
No, but that is kind of the funnel to get you parked there and let's go inside.
Right, hey, get a snack, yeah.
So I think that's kind of the idea with the drinks, because fountain drinks, I feel, well, first of all, fountain drinks are like dirt cheap to get those bags in the box.
Right.
So
I guess
are they even really losing money if you'd go in every 2 hours?
You're right. I don't know.
Because I would definitely be grabbing like a Slim Jim, a cheese stick.
Right. You're right.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I guess when you look at it that way, and they definitely are cheap. I think it's definitely a good idea for the most part. And I think it was I saw this thing, it was like Costco. They were losing so much money on a certain product. Or maybe, it was like Costco, so I don't know what it was, but they were asked, yo, you're losing money, and they were like, because, like you said, it's the funnel. Like, that right there gets them in the door, then someone goes and spends $400. Mm-hmm. It's like, here, we'll lose $25 here to get $400 on the back end of it through everything else. So I think for the most part, you know, if you're going to lose money to get people in, it's worth it. But like you said, if I'm going into Sheets, I'm not just going for a fountain drink. You know what I mean? I got to have something else too. So it's like you said, Slim Jim, whatever it is, you got to get some type of snack in there, you know? But I like the idea. I do.
So what are some other Patreon ideas that you would have?
I don't know. I feel like if there's any way to keep people engaged, like a control type thing, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, there's a lot of people out there that, like, especially influencers, they have like almost a cult-like following.
They do.
So it's like it comes down to how do you get a cult-like following? One, two, it comes down to you have to make them think they're like they have. I mean, give them some sort of control, but like, because everyone likes to be in control at some point, even if it's, you know, for a second or whatever. But if you could somehow tie that into it, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Maybe, I feel like if you could, I don't know. I think it just comes down to like, I don't know. It's tough.
I think it's so difficult because, like I said, I want to just go about this on one hand, just not caring and just enjoying it for what it is.
Right.
But I think long term, it would be awesome to be able to do something like this full time.
Right.
But I don't know if you can keep both of those mindsets at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe one. When I did a podcast for like 2 episodes, right? And it was literally just because I was literally couldn't leave my house because, again, my mom was the first case and everybody thought we were like gonna kill off everybody in Indiana County. But so I did one. My biggest thing was just email TikTok influencers, try to build the following that way. But then I was like, I don't like this at all. I just wanted to do it for like a second, just to pass some time, because I was literally so bored in the house for, it was like 3.5 weeks we were quarantined for. And so anyway, I talked to 2 people that have like over 500,000 followers. Well, the one guy actually has he has like 4 million now. But like, if you could maybe get an influencer on and then they drive some traffic to you that way, maybe get some followers that way. I would say also it's like, I mean, I know you don't have like a specific like niche or whatever.
That's was going to be the next thing, because that's kind of the foundation
but
of it.
But like, in a way, it can be, once you have that cult like following, it's like,
it doesn't.
We're open for everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you get someone like, I don't know, anyone. If you are like in this cult like following and they say, hey, buy this, do that, you're doing it. You know what I mean? No matter what it is. And I think if you can get that in a way, even to a lower level,
right,
you're good to go. But I think, I don't know, how do you get people on here? Do you just like reach out to random people, or like what's been the?
That's a good question. Honestly, so the conception of this was, I would like to do something that involves video because I love video.
Right.
And I just feel like I have encountered a ton of very interesting people
right.
in my life. And sometimes I feel like when I tell their stories to people, it's like, have you ever seen the movie Big Fish?
I've heard of it, but I never watched it.
So it's about this guy who just tells all these elaborate stories to his kids and grandkids. And they're like, here he is telling another story. Right. Well, I thought it would be really cool if I could actually sit down and talk with these people, basically time capsule it, and then eventually they can look back and be like, okay, so that's what Dad was like. That's what the people he knew were like.
Gotcha.
And then for your generations too, like, when I say you, I mean like all of the guests.
Yeah.
For them to be able to say, hey, do you want to see a video of me sitting down with this crazy guy for like an hour and a half? Okay. So it's just,
that's cool.
That's what I enjoy about it.
Yeah. No, that's that. I definitely get that. So, yeah, I would say in terms of Patreon, maybe just, it's tough because it's got to be one thing that you want to do. Not, I don't know. I'm a big believer in what you want to do. You know what I mean? If you have control of it, like, if you can make money off it doing it another way, that's one thing. But if you're just doing it to do it for fun, you want to keep it fun and energetic and stuff, it's got to be like what you want to do. You know what I mean? Right. It can't be what anyone else.
Because then it turns into a job, or
it just turns into like a chore almost type thing. And that was a big thing when I was doing Luke Means Tonight at first. Like, it literally started like out of nowhere. We had just won a football game. It was my sophomore year. And back of the bus, they would give us what's it called? Yeah, sure, I'll take one. They would give us these paper bags with like snacks and stuff. I'm good. They would give us snacks. I'm good. They would give us these snacks and stuff in this paper bag, and I kind of just crumpled up in like a microphone type thing. It was on Snapchat, and I was like, "Yo, Luke Meets Tonight," like interview people about the game, and then like people ate that up. And I was like, all right, cool. So next game I did it again. But when we lose, I wouldn't do it because I hate losing more than anyone in the world. Like, that, like, it does not matter what it is. It could be like, whatever it is, I'm just super competitive. I don't know. You think of something and I will find a way to make sure it's competitive, and I try to win. But anyway, so then my junior year, I didn't play football. And I was still kind of doing it after the games, but it kind of just came into a thing. Like, a lot of parents were like, hey, do this, do that. And even like people, like kids in school were like giving me it was never like that. It was never like I want to turn it into this type thing, which is like, I'm just doing this for fun type thing. But I did sell shirts, like it was just a black shirt at Luke Means Tonight, white across the chest, and I sold a lot of them. I sold them to like probably like 5-6 other schools in the conference. Like, it was a big thing. And then like I said, I didn't do it. And then my senior year, I was just like, I'm not doing this. I might have did it 1 or 2 times when they won the district, or when they were going to the district title game, but then it was like, okay, I have Luke Means Tonight. I have a pretty decent following with it. A lot of people know what it is. How do I keep this going forward? And it was like, I could do YouTube videos, right? But it was like, it's going to take a while to build it up. But I was just kind of doing it for fun. Like I said, like just pass some time, hang out with friends, make some memories type thing. And then it just kind of kept going. And then it got to a point where like, okay, now people are moving away. Some people are, getting into things that I don't want to be doing. And it's like, I got to make Madden videos, which I didn't mind doing, but it was like, it's just like, I don't want to, when I'm playing Madden, when I'm playing a video game, I want that to be free time away from everything. I don't want to make it a chore. And that's what it turned into. So I was like, I don't really want to make these videos.
But you're still making those, right? I still see them posted occasionally.
I sometimes I'll stream a game or whatever.
Yeah, just streaming.
But yeah, and a lot of it's just like league play. Like I just play in the league and stuff. But it's, I don't know. It just kind of like got to a point where like I kind of wanted to keep like video games separate from that. And then, but it was like, I don't like going out in public. So it's like, what do I do now? So I think the biggest thing is, I don't know. Like I said, it's just a part of the journey, and I think the whole Luke Means Tonight aspect, though, it was cool. I really enjoyed it. I sold a lot of shirts that I didn't really even expect to sell. You know what I mean? Like people's parents were buying it and stuff, and they were like loving it, and I had like a cult following with it there for a minute, and then it was like I could expand this, but do I want to expand it? I don't really want to. You know what I mean? It was kind of like a whatever type thing.
It's like cool for a time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, not gonna lie to you, I think I could have made it. Like, if I would have kept like consistently going with it. Obviously, if the people that I filmed with didn't go to college or whatever, I really believe we could have blew up there because we were. I mean, for a second there, we were pulling like 1,000 to 2,000 views a video towards the end, and I was like, all right, and I was just kind of like, I don't. They're moving away. I don't want to bug anybody else in a sense. It's like I was filming with these people and I don't really want to film with anybody else, you know what I mean? It's like,
right, because that's part of the chemistry.
And it's like I was like, I don't, and I just feel like looking back, like you said, I think the way this is set up, you can look back for memories. I have it, like the videos are there, some of them I think they're all I might have got copyrighted on one, but I still have like the footage of it. You know what I mean? It's like I have it all for memories. It's not gonna matter. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So definitely have it for memories, because like sometimes I'll find myself watching an old video and laughing. You know what I mean? So It's like, and everything I did was like raw and real. Like there was really never anything that was kind of planned or anything like that. It was just like kind of just go, just see what happens. Just roll the footage, Mm-hmm. But I don't even know what we're talking about, but yeah, I just went off on that tangent. But I
like it.
Yeah, that's that was Luke Means Tonight. Like I said, it was cool. But back to the Patreon, just get a cult following. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I think on the topic of going back to old videos and kind of reminiscing, I think there's a part of me that I'll go back to like some of the first commercial work that I've done, or even just personal YouTube videos. And there's a part of it that's pretty, like it'll be cringy.
Right.
But I think a lot of people struggle because that's where they stop. It's like, oh, this is cringy, turn it off.
That's true.
But I think you need to watch that, know that's where you were at that time.
That's right.
And then see some type of growth, and it should make you feel good.
That's right. Look at where you are and look where you're gonna go. And like when I was just actually looking through footage not too long ago, and I had a lot of like stuff from school on there. I was like, why did I turn this in? You know what I mean, type thing. But I was like, actually, this isn't too bad when I look back on it. And granted, I was just starting out, but I think for the most part, it was I think it was worth it. It was. I mean, school definitely was, but for the most part, I mean, like I said, I wouldn't have this hoodie on, wouldn't have that connection. I don't know. I just wouldn't. I don't know. If I would have went to West Virginia, or if I would have went somewhere else, who knows what would have happened? You know what I mean? I also visited Cal U. So like, what happened? What would have happened if I'd have went there? You know, would I still have the connections I have now? Would I have more? Would I have less? Who knows? Who knows? I don't know.
How old are you now?
20. I turned 21 in a month and no, that's a lie. Yeah, a month and 12 days.
Wait, so you're only 20?
Only 20.
And
I'm a young bull.
And you already have this mindset.
I do. And you know, a lot of people, especially like they say like a lot of people, they say look up to me, and I was like, that's weird. You know what I mean? Like, okay, cool, whatever. But you know, I definitely got to watch how I carry myself.
Right. I think you definitely need to watch that,
because I have a lot of people that, you know, like a lot of younger audience that follow me and stuff. It's like, so I gotta watch, you know, at least the way, like what I post on social media. Granted, if I'm just with my friends, that's another thing, but like the way I carry myself outside of that and everything, it's, you know, I gotta be careful about that, because granted, you know, maybe people do look up to me, I don't know,
right?
It's what my mom says or someone, you know, but
that's what your mom says.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that special, you know. But I don't know. Maybe.
I think the thing for me, I didn't realize that you were that young.
Yeah, I'm a young bull.
I knew it because I don't think that I was able to conceptualize the way that you do until I was in my early mid-30s. I mean, I'm 38 now.
Yeah.
But to be able to look back and say, you know, this like shitty thing happened to me 5 years later, I'm like, okay, now I understand why that happened.
Right,
but
right.
You're already kind of like, yep.
And yeah, no, I mean,
not to say it's not difficult in the time.
No, I know what you mean, but a big thing is, you know, I like to have pretty thick skin. You know, I don't really, if someone says something about me, does something that, you know, hurts me, whatever, yeah, it might suck. Yeah, it might not be nice, but like for the most part, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm just gonna be like, okay, cool, whatever, you know, in one ear, out the other type thing. And, you know, a lot of people don't carry themselves that way. You know, they build that up inside of them, and it's like, why? You know what I mean? Like, you just gotta, if that's someone's opinion, that's how someone feels about you, whatever, there's billions of other people out there that you can, you know what I mean? Granted, you know, it might be a couple of them in other countries, whatever, that you know, whatever, but for the most part, millions, we'll say, in the United States that, you know, you could come across in your life that have a different opinion, different outlook of things. So I just, when people beat themselves up over like, oh, so-and-so said this about me, or, you know, this is what someone commented on my Instagram post or something like that. I'm like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, like, first off, it's a free country, so like they can say what they want, but you just gotta react differently. You know, whatever. In one ear, out the other. If it's mean, if it's rude, if you don't like it, if it offends you, and a lot of people they just take things too seriously nowadays. It's like, just relax, have some humor in it. You know, it's like, who cares?
And I think there's a big problem because I think a lot of that roots from we're hungry for those likes and the
a lot of people are.
So then when they get something negative, it's like the reverse. You just kind of need to just go through, just do what you do.
I think the bad, like you said, like the bad reviews are almost better in a sense. Like, you got to be doing something right if someone's like if someone takes time out of their day to like go on your page, engage with your content, and leave a bad review or something. Granted, if it's like a restaurant or something, that's different. But like an actual like person or whatever, like, you're doing something right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're not getting that, then that's when you should be worried. You know what I mean? So I think to actually, you know, have the negative reviews, one, it, you know, gives you more engagement. Two, you know, it definitely says, okay, I'm doing something the right way. But yeah, I think a lot of people just kind of take it too seriously nowadays. It's like, so what? You know what I mean? Like, anyone can go on there, like, especially like a girl, they can go on there, post a half-naked picture on Instagram, get a lot of likes, and then, you know, someone says one mean thing.
If we did that.
That's what I'm saying. right. But like I'm saying, and then someone says one mean thing about them, and they take it to heart. Like, you're showing half your body out there on the internet,
right?
And then it's like, someone says, you know, I don't even know what someone would say, but like, it's like, you're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? It's like, who cares what they say about you, you know?
Right.
Like, just like take it for what it is and move on from it, you know? Just cut the relationship if it's someone you know, if they're mean to you, whatever. And whatever. A lot of people, I don't know.
That was part of my whole name change. Just not caring. Just
cool name
really
change. It is a cool name
redirecting that focus.
Right.
And I don't know. That was one of my favorite videos that I put together.
Right. You enjoyed it.
I don't care if other people didn't like it. It's cool, but I just loved the process, having basically the whole thing documented. That's something that's like you can pass down to generations.
That's right. And I definitely, I don't know, middle names are definitely weird. It's like, it's like you have a middle name, but no one really, I mean, granted, some people go by their middle name, but probably I'd say like 75% of the people like that you talk to, you don't even know their middle name. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like,
yeah,
if you change it, make it like you said, you made it something cool. Like make it a part of you. You know what I mean? Or if you don't have one, like there's just weird thing.
Right. I wonder if you could just go through the same process and have your middle name deleted. Like I just want a blank for my middle name. Or if it would cost more or less.
I don't know. That'd be something you look into. I don't know. Because it was definitely, that could be definitely something you could look into. I don't know. I mean, you just, you can't. I don't know. Because I know, you have to. If you can change it, you should be able to delete it.
Yeah.
It would make sense.
Yeah, I wanted to ask the judge more questions, but it kind of didn't make sense because you weren't allowed to have cameras in the courtroom.
Right.
I would have loved to. I mean, it was me, the judge, and the court clerk and the typer person. And I don't know why you couldn't have a camera in there. But he was pretty good. He was a good sport about it.
That's cool. So did he just roll on it right there then? He said, okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah. And it made me nervous.
I was going to say.
Because you drop all that money beforehand.
Right.
Just to go in front of him. And I thought, he's going to look at this and be like, okay, here's some young punk from Johnstown.
Right.
Probably like a drug dealer or in gangs. Wants to change his name to Dangerous.
Right.
But no, he was cool. He asked me like the reasoning, and I said, I just want to turn over a new leaf and just not care what people think. And he said, so are you running from something? It's like, no. I mean, yes and no. I mean, my old self. I just want to just not care anymore.
Yeah.
And then I got into like the meaning behind the name, and he's like, so you're a religious person? And I was like, well, not really. I mean, I have beliefs, but they're a lot different from the general beliefs. And then he just kind of dropped it and was like, so this is going to be a lot of work for you. This is just the beginning. You're going to have to go through and change your name everywhere. So
that's cool though. So like when you get a bill now, does it say like Dangerous?
Oh yeah. It's on my license. It's on.
That's awesome.
I haven't changed it with any of my student loan things yet though.
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe they might.
Well, they bill it to the wrong person. Say it's not me anymore.
Yeah, it's not me.
You can't pay it off if they don't bill it to the right person.
Might have to delete this part too.
Might have to. Yeah.
I have rapid fire questions for you.
Let's do it. Rapid fire. Let's do that.
10 seconds each.
10 seconds. All right. Let's go.
Question number 1. Favorite color?
Carolina blue.
I like that. That's good. Favorite dinosaur?
Velociraptor.
Yesterday or tomorrow?
Call me crazy, but I'm gonna say yesterday.
You learn from it.
That's right. How can you get better?
Question number 4. Favorite ADHDan episode and why?
I like that one with Jason. Just because like the way he kind of carries himself. You know what I mean? Like. I know it's 10 seconds, but I'll run it. Like, he said, he doesn't really care.
I'll allow it.
You know what I mean? He said he doesn't really care. He just kind of accepts him for who he is, and I like that. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't. It's like, who cares? You know what I mean? Whatever disability, whatever, you might have your arm cut off, whatever it is, you just gotta roll with it. Like I said, you don't have a time machine. You can't go back, change anything. You just gotta go with what you got.
I think the thing that's so great with him is he is a perfect example of someone who people would say has a disability.
Right.
But that's like such a distorted
I was
idea.
gonna say, yeah,
Like
yeah.
just because he doesn't care, or maybe he doesn't have the ability to understand when people are putting him down.
Right.
Like that's not a disability. I would take that.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Kind of play the cards that you're dealt. You know what I mean? Like, you know, whatever.
Yeah, that was definitely over 10 seconds. Last question.
Okay.
Best advice for anyone looking to brand a product or service? 1, 2.
Just be creative, be yourself, be authentic. Anyone can fake anything, but when you're real and raw about it, it's when it makes the most impact.
Dang, I was thinking it would take you a lot longer to get into detail with that. But that was good. That was very to the point.
But yeah, that's pretty much, that's all I got for you. I don't really know. I don't know, I kind of got into everything I wanted to get into, you know? So if you have anything else, then we can jump into that. But
I think a lot of it's just going to be just a learning process as I go
right.
with this. Seeing what works, what doesn't work, what I'm willing to do, not willing to do.
Yeah.
And just kind of find that middle ground between just not caring and just doing this organically, naturally, and catering it to somehow to bring in some type of income.
Right.
So
right.
I appreciate you coming.
No
I appreciate
problem. We had the weather delay there.
We did.
Weather delay, but
that actually helped because I didn't have any idea for your name thing.
Got you. Okay.
And I just came off of recording, so it was it worked.
Okay, cool. Because I mean, I had a game that night because it was, what was it? We were gonna do Friday, right? Whatever it was. And that night I couldn't find my car keys after the game. They fell in between my seats, so I got them. And it was so bad driving home. And I literally lived 2 minutes from the school, so it was like, ugh. And then I woke up and it was still snowing, and I was like, "There's no way I could," you know what I mean? So I was like, we'll just have to do it a different day. But all worked out. Like I said, all part of the plan.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, can't beat that. But yeah, like I said, that's gonna wrap it up for me.
Yeah. But also, thank you for being my patron.
No problem.
Why?
Well, I was actually gonna donate to the name change, you know, and then like it slipped my mind. Totally forgot about it, and I was like, he changed his name, and I can donate, you know. And then it was like, okay, you know, Patreon. I've saw in the past, never have been a member, and I was trying for like an hour and a half because like the Facebook link just kept like. So I was like, I'm just going to go through the app. Then I couldn't find your name on the app. So I was like, all right, hold on. So then I finally figured out, I had to do it on the computer because the phone wasn't working. Granted, I wasn't in the best spot with service when I was trying to do this. I was you know, eating. But, so I was like, all right. And then it was like 1, 5, 10, or 25. And I was like, 25, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's, you know, it's worth it, I felt like. If it's worth money, I'll spend money. I don't, you know what I mean? And, I like what you got going on here, so I was like, yeah, let's run with it. You know what I mean? So it was like, you know, I like the tiers. You know, I was like, yeah, we'll run with it. You know, I don't care. You know, I feel like I get to sponsor the Red Bull lunch, everything. You know.
Yeah. I mean, no idea. I think the dollar one I might set for incense. Okay. Because that's kind of every episode thing. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But
cool.
Yes, thank you, Anthony Menzia, for the intro and outro music, which I'm excited to have Anthony on this podcast. I know I've said it before, but I'm very excited to talk with another artist about some of that. And feel free to check out Luke. If you want me to post any links, I can put some links.
Yeah, I'll send you some links.
Yeah.
Cool.
So support him.
Alrighty.
That's about it.
That is all.
Have a good day.
You as well.